We have reached the year where Dune Part 2 will be hitting theatres worldwide, and since the release of Part 1 back in 2021, the excitement has only built up for the next part of Denis Villeneuve's science fiction sequel. We're yet to see a trailer or any marketing for the film, but with it on the way and opportunities becoming available to show footage from it, it's exciting to think about when we could get that first look. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the potential release dates for that first Dune Part 2 teaser trailer and giving you my thoughts on what I think we could see when it comes to scenes and characters from the book. Before I get into it though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my content surrounding Dune Part 2 and beyond, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. But without further ado, let's dive into my release date predictions for the Dune Part 2 trailer. So we're just over 8 months until the release of Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2, and I think we're getting closer to that time zone of a teaser trailer being released for the film, one that will hopefully blow us away and get us even more excited to return to Arrakis. And while I have a brief prediction on what I think might be included in that teaser, which I'll get to later on in the video, I think it's intriguing to think about when we might actually be seeing it. The original teaser for the first movie was released in theatres in front of Christopher Nolan's Tenet back in August of 2020, and the movie itself was originally scheduled to release on November of that year. But COVID was pretty much shutting theatres down, movies were being delayed or releasing on streaming, and Dune ended up having its own multi-delay, which eventually led to it releasing on HBO Max and in theatres on October 21st of 2021. It was a big delay, and it's no denying that the streaming release and the pandemic hurt Dune's chances of really doing much better than it did during its theatrical release. Still, it was a big success, making around $400 million at the worldwide box office, and in the time since, it's been an even wider global success on home entertainment, with both streaming figures and physical watches with 4K and Blu-ray. So going into Part 2, the Dune movie franchise is in a much more fruitful position along with its growing fanbase, and I think that very point will factor into how they market the second film. The teaser for the first film came out 4 months before the original 2020 release date, and while things changed and they ended up having to advertise the film over an entire additional year, now they're in a much more healthier position where they could likely put out a first teaser trailer much earlier on. We are about 8.5 months away from Dune Part 2, which will now have a theatre-only release, and I think in the next few months there's a few options for when we will likely see that first teaser trailer. The first option is a release in front of one of 2 upcoming Warner Brothers films debuting in March. WB have got both Creed 3 and Shazam 2 coming out in March, and until the release of The Flash in June, they are really the only 2 Warner Brothers releases that they could debut a teaser trailer in front of when we think about the short term ahead. I think this option is a potential candidate for Warner Brothers because then it would leave films like The Flash in June and Barbie in July to maybe showcase that big full-length trailer a few months later. My current guess is that we'll see the full-length Dune trailer in the summer attached to either Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer or Greta Gerwig's Barbie, which both release on the same day of July the 21st of 2023. I think that main trailer will either be shown in front of those films or even a bit earlier with DC's The Flash on June the 16th. But of course, I'm talking about the full-length trailer and not the initial teaser. Now, while I think it's possible that the teaser debuts in front of Creed 3 or Shazam 2 because they are both upcoming WB films, I think the most likely option is for that teaser trailer to be shown at CinemaCon on April the 25th. This is the big Warner Brothers panel which in the past has shown teaser trailers for upcoming films, and it's their way to give back to theatre owners and celebrate the upcoming theatrical releases with them. The Dune Part 1 teaser was a theatre-only trailer, and I think they might follow a similar pattern to that by showing this new teaser behind closed doors at CinemaCon in April. Of course, like the other trailers that were shown at this event, it's likely that the Dune Part 2 teaser will release weeks later online and in front of films releasing in theatres, so I wouldn't jump too quickly to say that this will be another case of a trailer not being widely available or seen by fans online. Like I was saying before, now that Dune has had growth since the success of the first film, I would expect that Warner Brothers would want to market Part 2 to an even greater extent, and in doing so, I think they'll want to show that first teaser to the wider public, even if we do get it a bit later than those at CinemaCon do. So yes, when it comes to my trailer predictions for Dune Part 2, I think we'll see that initial teaser trailer released a few weeks after a screening of it at CinemaCon on April 25th. And then when it comes to the full-length main trailer, I predict they'll show that in front of either The Flash on June the 16th or Barbie and Oppenheimer on July the 21st. I think these are currently the most likely release options for the first two trailers for Dune Part 2, and again, to me, it would make complete sense if we got an extended marketing campaign with the film in comparison to Part 1 due to its success over the last couple of years. So now that I've discussed the potential dates for the Dune Part 2 trailer, what do I think we could see included in the footage? Well, when it comes to what the trailer might contain, anything is possible because the second half of Frank Herbert's book is jam-packed with revelations, action, drama, and political turns that make for an ultra-compelling science fiction sequel. But what comes to my mind when I think of the Dream Dune Part 2 teaser is something that takes me back to the first film and the teaser trailer we had for that. In that teaser, we had numerous shots of the huge ensemble cast, all intercut around the iconic Box of Pain sequence where Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides learns that fear is the mind killer. It really set the tone for what we would see unfold in Part 1, it gave us a sense of the themes that would be present, and it was only amplified by the superb use of Hans Zimmer's score. With the teaser trailer for Dune Part 2, I think we'll get a similar setup to that, but one that now gives us a look at some of the new players involved, whether it be Austin Butler's Fade Rotha, Florence Pugh's Princess Irulan, or Christopher Walken's Emperor. I think that we'll intercut the first looks at these new characters and more footage of the characters that were a part of Dune Part 1 with the iconic moment from the novel where Paul learns to ride a sandworm. The first Dune ended on the images of Paul and his mother Lady Jessica joining the Fremen and watching a sandworm rider in the distance, and that gave us a sense of what was to come in the time ahead. And in my opinion, the perfect way to tease the new film is to build the momentum from that ending and show us a tense teaser with footage of Paul ready to climb an approaching sandworm. A scene like this could really promise a sense of the elevated scale in the sequel, but also show off the advancements in visual effects when it comes to the sandworms. They were one of the hardest elements to visually capture on screen in Dune Part 1, and in that film, we only saw brief moments with parts of them on display. So if we now get a teaser trailer based around that defining moment from the second half of the novel, one where Paul readies himself for the approaching worm, pulls out his maker hooks, and then angles of that climb, it would really hype us up for what's in store. Of course, us fellow book readers know what's in store, but for those who got into Dune via the film and don't particularly know all the details, I think a moment like this, with intercut shots of other characters in the vein of the teaser to Dune Part 1, would be something that gets attention. When it comes to all the other great moments from the second part of Dune that could be included, and especially that final fight between the Fremen and the Harkonnen forces, I think this will more likely be on display with later trailers and marketing, because a teaser is meant to just set the tone and give us a sense of what we will get. So that's why I think an earlier moment from the story, like with Paul learning to ride a sandworm, would be appropriate for a first teaser. But hey, that's just me speculating at this point and predicting what could be in my dream first trailer. Anything could be in there, and who knows, we may even get a first look at characters like Elia Atreides, who currently hasn't got a linked casting, or even shots from the iconic Water of Life sequence. We'll have to see, but whatever we do get in that first trailer, I think it'll really try to impress us, both visually and thematically. But that was my video discussing the potential release dates for Dune Part 2's first trailer. I'm interested to see what we'll get in that first piece of marketing, which again I'm guessing we'll see in the next few months, and I think there are plenty of iconic moments from the book that could be shown in that teaser. But regardless of what moments we do see, I would expect it to be just as or even more visually impressive than Part 1. Denis Villeneuve is a master at adapting powerful and even monstrous images for the big screen, and I think we can expect to see just a taste of that in the trailer. But let me know down below in the comment section whether you're excited to see the teaser trailer when it releases, and what particular moments do you think we'll see in that first look for Dune Part 2. For much more videos and news on Denis Villeneuve's Dune universe, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, rating, and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.